Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. Great to have you in the conversation. A couple of quick items before we get some more content, some more phone calls. There's a Muslim in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He is suing the First Presbyterian Church there in Tulsa because he converted to Christianity. He got baptized in this church, and they publicized his conversion and his baptism. They didn't publicize it, they just published a notice of his baptism online, as they do customarily for those that get baptized. I mean, it's a moment to celebrate. Now, he's suing them because he is saying that the fact that they published a notice about his baptism has endangered his life. In fact, he said he's from Syria. He went on a trip to Syria, and he was beaten and tortured for days, he says, in Syria. Why? Because the First Presbyterian Church of Tulsa published online a notice about his baptism. Now, two things about this. Number one, what does this tell you about Islam? What does this tell you about Islam? It is not a religion of peace. It's a religion of war. It's a religion of violence. It is a religion of death. We're just having a notice publicized, a notice published online about your baptism, your conversion in a newspaper in Tulsa, Oklahoma, can put your life in danger. I mean, that's what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen, with the religion of Islam. It is indeed a wicked, evil religion, as Franklin Graham says. One of the Gitmo 5, somebody's been poking around, Thomas Jocelyn at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. He was one of the key guys that was a part of Osama bin Laden's plan surrounding 9/11. He wasn't a direct planner in the 9/11 attack, but he, at Osama bin Laden's direction, he coordinated a military offensive against the enemies of the Taliban and al-Qaeda in Afghanistan the day before the attack on 9/10. Osama bin Laden viewed that September 10 offensive as an essential part of al-Qaeda's 9/11 plot. That's one of the guys that we are turning back on to the battlefield. Bo Bergdahl is now back in the United States. You might have heard, going through reintegration, still hasn't talked to his parents. Military not sure when they're going to let him do that. And I think that all depends on what they think he's going to say to them. It all depends on what they think he's going to say to the media before we ever hear from him again. And remember, he's gotten 2 promotions after deserting because he wasn't classified as a deserter, even though everybody understands and knows that's what he was. And now he's in line to receive $600,000 in back pay, $300,000 in back pay, and another $300,000 if they classify him as a prisoner of war. So this guy, realize what this means. If he is not classified as a deserter, this guy will be set up for life. He is going to get a $600,000 bonus from you and me for deserting his comrades on the field of battle. That's where that thing is headed. And Donald Sterling, the owner of the L.A. Clippers, remember they're trying to force him to sell the thing because of those racist conversations that were taped? He's now hiring. This is going to get interesting because he is hiring a battery of private investigators. He's hired 4, count them, 4 private investigation firms, paying him a 6-figure budget to go out and dig up dirt on the other 29 owners in the NBA. So these 4 private investigation firms, they've got a budget in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to go out and find out if these guys have ever made any discriminatory comments, made any racist jokes, made any sexist jokes. So he's fighting back. Donald Sterling is not going to go quietly into that good night. All right, let's grab a call from Jeff in Jackson, Mississippi. Jeff, welcome. What's on your mind?
Brian, appreciate the show and everything you do.
Thank you, sir.
Just want, and you may have covered the beginning of the show, I missed part of it, but wondering if you knew about the Michael Bloomberg donating $250,000 to Thad Cochran's.
Yes, we talked about that in the first hour. Yeah. So what's your reaction to that? Where, you know, we know Michael Bloomberg a former Democrat. He's really still a Democrat. He's a guy that wants to ban soda pop, wants to ban salt, wants to ban trans fat, and so he's as liberal as you can get. Big government guy. Remember, he's the one that said when that they tried to blow up that car outside the Lion King. Well, that had to be some disaffected Tea Partier doing that when it was a Muslim. Anyway, what's your reaction to all of that?
Well, I mean, to me, it just goes to show you that these people get up in Washington, D.C., and they just become part of the club, which is even more reason that we need to get them out. And I mean, I will be voting for Chris McDaniel, but it's one of those things, even if Chris McDaniel gets up there and fails to listen to the people, I mean, I'll vote against him next time. Until we send a shockwave up there, nothing's going to happen. Even with Cantor losing, I mean, you're not seeing any Republicans, give the Tea Party any credit.
Well, and the thing, Jeff, they're right back out there hacking and flacking for amnesty.
Correct.
I mean, they're out there the next day saying amnesty's not dead. No, we haven't given up on amnesty. And they apparently are going to put Kevin McCarthy in his place, who's just as bad on immigration as Eric Cantor is. So they obviously have not learned their lesson.
Right. The only way we can take back the country is vote, and we can send a message by putting new people up there. But it'll be interesting since Michael Bloomberg is supposedly not a friend of the NRA, if maybe the NRA will change its views on Thad Cochran a little.
All right, Jeff, listen, I appreciate your call. And, it is an interesting thing. And Jeff's right. Look, this thing with Eric Cantor, that was an earthquake. I mean, I've used that analogy that Dave Bratt was like Vesuvius and the GOP elite like Pompeii. They just got buried in volcanic ash. But that's only one eruption. And Jeff's point is, look, they clearly have not got the message. They're still out there hacking and flacking for amnesty after David Bratt unseated Cantor over that very issue. David Jolly won in Florida over the issue of amnesty, over that Democrat Alex Sink. So the only thing that's going to get their attention is a series of these stunning electoral results, and the people in Mississippi will have a chance to send another message to the GOP elites on the 24th. Let's grab a call from Mouton in Louisiana. I'm not sure I'm saying your name right, but welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher.
Hello, Brian. How's it going with you today?
Going just fine. What's on your mind?
Well, I think the government ought to bypass Secretary John Kerry and go and defend Israel at all costs to start with. Before they do that, load up a courier with nothing but Bibles, KJV, and drop them. That'll be their heads up. Go hide in a good hole because you're going to need it.
Yeah. Now, where are you suggesting we airdrop these Bibles?
All around
in the Middle East.
In the Middle East, wherever the Al-Qaeda is.
Wouldn't that be something? There. Wouldn't that be something? Just carpet bomb every Islamic country in the Middle East. Just parachute Bibles, just boxes and boxes and boxes of Bibles in Arabic into the Middle East. All right, Mouton, that's a great suggestion. Appreciate the call. Thank you for that. Let's get a couple of quick sound bites on Hillary Clinton and gay marriage. She did an interview with NPR of all people. Now, listen to what this is clip number 1, Rob. Here's what Hillary Clinton, first thing she says when the NPR reporter, her name is Terry Gross, this is yesterday on NPR, brings up the issue of same-sex marriage. And here's what Hillary Clinton says about people like you and me who still believe that marriage is one man, one woman.
One of my big problems right now is that too many people believe they have a direct line to the divine, and they never want to change their mind about anything. They're never open to new information, and they like to operate in an evidence-free zone. And I think it's good if people continue to change.
Well, Hillary's just wrong about this. It is not that we have a direct line to God. That's not why we believe that marriage is the union of one man and one woman. It's not because we have a direct line to God. It's because God has a direct line to us in the Scriptures. And God has clearly identified and defined the nature of marriage in the Word of God. And Jesus said, look, not one jot, not one tittle is going to pass away from the law, the moral standard of God, until heaven and earth pass away. Marriage is going to be the union of one man and one woman until the end of time. And Jesus is my authority for that statement. Until heaven and earth pass away, marriage will be the union of one man and one woman. So that's why we're not going to change. We're not going to change our mind before God does, Hillary Clinton. And God has made it clear through his son, Jesus Christ, he's never, ever going to change his mind on marriage. Now, here's clip number 2, and this NPR reporter, to her credit, kind of presses in on Hillary because she clearly changed her view of marriage. She was a one-man, one-woman politician right up until it became inconvenient. Then she suddenly flip-flopped, and the NPR reporter presses in.
I'm pretty sure you didn't answer my question about whether you evolved or it was the American public that changed. Whether you...
Because I said I'm an American, so of course we all evolved, and I think that that's a fair.
So your opinion
that's
changed.
A fair conclusion.
So you're saying your opinion on gay marriage changed, as opposed to you just felt it was comfortable.
Somebody is always first, Terry. Somebody's always out front, and thank goodness they are. But that doesn't mean that those who join later in being publicly supportive or even privately accepting that there needs to be change are any less committed. You could not be having the sweep of marriage equality across our country if nobody changed their mind. And thank goodness so many of us have.
So that's one for you changed your mind.
I have to say, I think you are being very persistent, but you are playing with my words and playing with what is such an important issue.
I'm just trying to clarify so I can understand.
No, I don't think you are trying to clarify. I think you're trying to say that, I used to be opposed and now I'm in favor and I did it for political reasons, and that's just flat wrong. So let me just state what I feel like you are implying and repudiate it. I have a strong record. I have a great commitment to this issue, and I am proud of what I've done and the progress we're making.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just want to clarify what I was saying. No, I was saying that you maybe really believed this all along, but, believed in gay marriage all along, but felt for political reasons America wasn't ready yet and you couldn't say it. That's what I was thinking.
No, that is not true.
Okay.
So, the NPR reporter tries to give her an out. I think the reality is you always believed in gay marriage. You just didn't think America was ready for it. Hillary Clinton says, no, that's not true. I used to believe in God's definition of marriage. Now I don't. Focal Point AFR Talk back in 2.